Hello crew and welcome to Stellaris. Ooh, man. I don't know which is best, Stellaris or Crusader Kings 2. I'm not joking. I've played Crusader Kings 2 since the demo came out. And I played it on and off, but that's my to-go game when I want to feel challenged. But Stellaris, it changed so much with the 2.2 update. So much. And I went for the Mega Corp DLC. I like it. Some people don't. Some people do. Personal opinion. I like it. I like to make Mega Corp and see what it's all about. I did like it. And I like playing this huge corporation that basically controls the world, or a world, and then a part of the galaxy. So, let's give this a try. We already have some. Empires, civilizations. I don't know what to call them, but we're gonna go for the Sacrosanct Yayerum Empire. But we're gonna make some slight modifications because I liked what I got, and I noticed something interesting. That agrarian ideal actually gives you a research path. That's interesting. I thought that I was only like flavor, like, oh, you can. This is what you get, and nope. You actually get research and other stuff. That's worth it. It's very worthwhile. But let's modify this, and let's go one by one. Okay, that's gonna stay the same. There's a little story behind why the Yayerum and why fox people. I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry, but in a story that I brought is the right word? Wrote. I wrote a while back, and that I still write from time to time. So it's never in the stories. I'm never gonna publish this at this rate. But the Yajari, or the Yayerum, whichever you want to call it, are this race of fox people that basically evolved from very primitive fox-like creatures, and they lived in this very far region of the world that was very cold, and they had to adjust. Eventually they reached a mountain, where inside they found this cavernous place which provided heat because it was inside of a semi-active volcano which at one point explodes. And they became very religious because the original, I would say not creator, but one of the most important figures of their culture, which is Bon, which in their language means the sun, is basically that which gave them life by accident, per se. And that is that by opening up a section of the hard ice, sunlight came inside, so it wasn't always dark. But the problem with that was that Ban died, and they never found the body. So they assumed that he ascended and he became the sun. Or he or she or it. I mean, I've never specified that. If that's your thing, it's not defined who Ban is, but rather what is. And that's why they're a very spiritualist culture. And I chose pacifist because I was trying something out, and it kind of works, it kind of doesn't, so I'm gonna change that. Because that didn't make sense in the end. What they are, though, is that they're agrarian. They had to learn how to work the little fields that they had, because they have population control up the wazoo. I mean, seriously, they need that. They also became quick learners. Eventually, as they evolved, they learned very quickly because they have a very short lifespan. They're very, very, very short on their lifespan. And I mean, there's really nothing else that I could think of that I could use, to be honest, or that I could add to them, because they're not slavers like they're. I mean, solitary makes sense though. That actually makes sense, because they're very solitary. But they're also very communal. Yet, I mean, this is conflicting, because I could say that they're both. Actually, they're very sedentary. Let's see if we can finish some of this. Yeah, sedentary. They never really moved, and the few of their race that made it out of the section of the world where they lived in, they didn't really understand the world outside. I mean, they adapted to it very quickly, but they never fully understood it, because it was a completely, like, very different world. And one of the races that lived there, or that basically at that point was starting to control everything, was the Draconian Empire. Basically, dragons, humanoid dragons. They came to control everything, or they were starting to control everything, and the Yayerum, they allied with the Draconian Empire. Actually, the reason why it's an empire is because the Yayerum Empress gave the crown to who would be the first emperor of the Draconian Empire, and he absorbed the Yayerum into their culture. The thing is that the Draconians are very despotic, and I mean, basically the name Draconian is what they are. They're very backwards in a lot of stuff. They're slavers, they're lazy, they're very aggressive, but there's a lot of issues in their culture, and aside from what I mentioned, and that's a very long story, and it's besides the point. Let's see. What else could I put in? I mean, they are traditional. Now let's do communal. They are communal. So I'm gonna. This is where I'm gonna set. They're agrarian, which makes sense that they're communal, but they're sedentary. They don't really move away from where they live. They're quick learners, because they live for a very short time. That makes sense. It looks better now. I used alpine, and that makes sense because they live in a mountain. I was thinking Arctic, but no, alpine is fine. They live in the world of Hakune. Hakune is it's a little bit of a tradition in a group where I do LAN parties, because we still do LAN parties. We gather around, we do we go to a friend's house, have a couple drinks, and we play in LAN. 4, 5, 6 of us, up to this date. And this is a tradition that's like from the times where LAN party were the thing to do if you were a geek. And surprisingly, one of them has been doing LAN parties for the last maybe 15 years, and the other one has been doing that for maybe the same amount of time. And they knew each other and whatnot, and eventually we all came to see each other, and that's that. Now we play. And I always bring them these strange games, like Crusader Kings, Factorio, Stellaris, Europa Universalis, but I don't even understand that, because there's way too much to learn in the game. And so on and so forth. We always bring new stuff to the table. And it's fun. It's very, very fun to do that in person. If you ever have a chance to gather with friends, do it. Doing a LAN party is very fun. Very, very, very fun. Don't be a shut-in. Go with your friends. Have a LAN party. If you don't drink, then just, have some food, some drinks. Have fun. Okay. Mammalian CD. I think almost okay. This is where I need to change this stuff. Okie dokie. Pacifist. Oh, I need to have pacifist for this. Plot thickens. Is some degree of pacifist. Okay. Can use full air rights. It's basically the same. It's just the modifier is monthly unit. Okay. All right. Now here's the other problem. So the Jaggerai are spiritualists, as I mentioned. And in a way, they're pacifists. And they don't... How should I put it? They don't like to go to war. They can go to war. And they're not fanatic about it, because they can go to war. And they will kick your ass. They will definitely kick your ass if you mess with them. So no militaries for us. Definitely not. Egalitarian. I'm not sure that the Jaggerai are an egalitarian society, to be honest, because there's a caste system in their society, and the ones that are higher get benefits, the ones that are lower are the grunts. Period. I can enslave aliens. Let's try to fight. That makes sense. I mean, they're not monthly influence worker output. It's either that or xenophile. Another species can use no refugee policy. Cannot enslave entire species. I mean, that's interesting, because yes, they are authoritarian, and they're a little bit of xenophobes, because they don't receive foreigners well. Later on during their story, they don't care. They become too accustomed to all that. But I think that maybe authoritarian could be could be what I'm looking for, because they're not fanatic pacifists, they're not fanatic spiritualists. There's a degree of authoritarian. Yeah, we're gonna have to go for that. They're environmentalists. They do seek to coexist with their environment. And agrarian idle. They don't live in cities. They don't understand the concept of cities. This is why I found this very ironic and funny, because I looked at them like, okay, so I get more housing from farms and not so much from city districts. Again, that makes sense. The Jaggerai don't like cities. They actually despise living in such environments, and the fact that I cannot build a commonopolis, that also makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Seriously, it's so obvious, and I like it that they took that time to put into little details. Spiritualist. Yes. Actually, that's not the name of the. That's the name of the first. Not the first, but the last Empress, and that's another thing. I can't. Dictatorial. Ironic guardianship. Yeah, it's ironic. Pacifist form. Okay, alright. Yeah, no, but it's for life. It's imperial. Okie dokie. Yes. Alrighty. Let's see. Small. Yeah, this computer can't go that high. Its draw was at one point, so let's see how far we can get with this. To advance AI, to fallen empires. No more outer emperors, because that's a pain in the ass and no one does anything when this happens. And there's gonna be a lot of primitive civilizations. Crisis is gonna be high. High. Okay.